I am calling the 6:45 public hearing to order. This is an ordinance concerning dog leashes, and we will begin with roll call. Mr. Davidoff.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Councilor Harris.
Here.
Councilor Lazarus.
Here.
Councilor Lyons.
Here.
Councilor McGinnis.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Poland.
Here.
Councilor Walters.
Here.
Councilor Wang is absent. Councilor Winograd is absent. We do have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davidoff. And we will begin with presentation by the town manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. For the record, Rick Ledwith, Town Manager. And tonight we are, as you know, presenting for your consideration an ordinance that would require dogs to be leashed while on public streets, sidewalks, and other town-owned property, except within designated enclosed dog park, which we now house at 100 Mayflower. West Hartford is a community that values its parks, sidewalks, trails, and public spaces. We are also a community of pet lovers, and thousands of residents responsibly walk and care for their dogs every day. This proposed ordinance is not intended to discourage dog ownership or limit the enjoyment of public spaces. Rather, it is intended to promote public safety, protect pets, and establish a clear and consistent standard for responsible dog control throughout town. Currently, our town code prohibits dogs from roaming free in parks and playgrounds. However, that prohibition does not extend to many other public areas, including sidewalks, streets, and other town-owned properties. As a result, our regulations are inconsistent and can create confusion regarding where dogs must be under leash. Over the past several years, our animal control officer has responded to more than 100 roaming dog calls. Approximately half of those incidents involved dogs on public property, and 64 resulted in incident reports involving bites to another dog or a person. While many dogs are friendly and well-trained, even the most obedient animals can become startled, distracted, or react unpredictably to changing circumstances. The proposed ordinance would create a simple, clear rule. When a dog is on public property, it must be under the control of the person walking the dog using a leash or similar physical restraint not exceeding 6 feet in length. The ordinance also recognizes the importance of providing opportunities for dogs to exercise off-leash by exempting our town's designated enclosed dog park at 100 Mayflower. The recommendation before you is based on several considerations. First, it promotes public safety by reducing the risk of bites, attacks, and interactions that can lead to injuries. Second, it protects dogs themselves from hazards such as vehicle traffic and unexpected encounters with people or other animals. Third, it provides clear expectations for residents and a straightforward enforcement framework for our police department and animal control staff. The ordinance establishes a graduated fine structure, beginning with a $25 fine for a first offense, $50 for a second offense, and $99 for the third offense and every offense thereafter, while also providing an appeal process consistent with other local ordinance violations. At its core, this proposal is about balancing the enjoyment of public spaces with the responsibility we all share to ensure those spaces remain safe and welcoming for everyone. As you know, we've discussed this ordinance twice during our Public Safety Committee meetings. We had Animal Control Officer Galino join us at those meetings to share the information that I share with you this evening. But through you, Madam Mayor, we will pause there and turn it back to the council. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ledwith. Yes, we have been talking about this for quite some time, and we are, so we are glad that we are finally at this point. We're going to go to public comment first, and no one has signed up to speak. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak? Please come up, state your name and address for the record, and 3 minutes, unless you represent a group, but I don't think we're. And it automatically goes on.
Okay. It's going on?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Elizabeth Kiefer,
Keifer, 1097 Farmington Avenue in West Hartford. The first thing I wanted to say is every time this issue comes up and I tell people we don't have a leash law in West Hartford, they argue with me and say, of course we must have one. And then I have to say, well, we do in parks and ballparks only six-foot leash, as he said, because I have researched it. But they're very surprised. And what I did a tiny bit of research and looked at what Glastonbury is doing, because I think that's a town that seems similar in size and type of town that we have. And Glastonbury has one that is on town property. So I think it makes sense for us to move toward that. And the last thing I want to say is I'm somebody who's gone through 3 dog bites from off the leash dogs. The last time I had to go to court in the state of Massachusetts, I was supposed to testify on the behalf of the state. I had been bitten against this dog owner who had a German Shepherd and a Weimaraner that were roaming the area in Amherst. And finally what happened was the state of Massachusetts had a very young lawyer who didn't present the appropriate paperwork to the animal control officer. So just as I was about to make my starring role as a witness on stand, the bad guy's lawyer stood up and said, Your Honor, some paperwork didn't go through, bang, dismissed. So for the rest of the time, I was a graduate student taking the bus, going back and forth to my classes at UMass, and I had to carry a tennis racket with me because I'd already been bitten by these dogs, but these dogs were allowed to be back on the street. So I'd get off the bus at night after a grad class in the dark and have to walk along with a tennis racket, hoping that I didn't run into those 2 dogs again. And in that neighborhood, one woman had a baby in a baby carriage and had to lift it up in the air with the baby in it because the German Shepherd of the duo was going after the baby. So I just think for dog attacks, dogs attacking people, possible traffic issues, that this is kind of a no-brainer and probably is long overdue for a town of this size with this number of dogs.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kiefer. Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak to this public hearing? Okay, seeing none, Mr. Clerk, have you received any written comments?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay, now we'll open it up to any questions from the council. Again, we have been discussing this in committee, and I don't know if anybody wants to have any questions or input? No? Okay, Mr. Lyons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you, yeah, I have to admit that I too, when this came up several months ago, I said, how do we not have a leash law? So I feel you and I hear you loud and clear there. And the other thing, not mentioned, but I think, my daughter has got a beautiful American bully dog, but he can be reactive to other dogs, and I think safety of other dogs is also paramount, and I think this helps address that. So I'll be voting in favor.
Thank you very much. Any other, obviously this will go to the council for a vote, but are there any other questions for the public hearing? If not, we will close the public hearing, and we actually have 5 minutes, but one more round. Any questions? Okay, this public hearing is closed, and our next public hearing starts at 7. So you can go to the bathroom.
Bring it as
Okay, we are at,
We had bamboo in our yard when we moved in. Bamboo
we
in
have a
our
lot
yard
of
when we
bamboo.
moved in.
Okay, how are we doing? Are we good? Not ready yet? Nice. Yeah, now, it is now.
Burn.
So I could do it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Calling the 7 PM public hearing to order. This is a resolution directing the town manager to submit an amended To submit an amended automated traffic enforcement safety device plan to the Connecticut Department of Transportation for approval. Roll call, Mr. Davidoff.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Counselor Harris.
Here.
Counselor Lazarus.
Here.
Counselor Lyons.
Here?
Counselor McGinnis.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Bowen.
Here.
Counselor Walters.
Here.
Counselor Wang is absent. Counselor Winograd is absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Davidoff. We will begin with a presentation. Mr. Ledwith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good evening, everyone. For the record, my name is Rick Ledwith, Town Manager, and tonight's public hearing concerns a resolution directing the Town Manager to submit the town's amended automated traffic enforcement safety device plan to the State of Connecticut and Federal Highway Administration for their review and approval. You will recall that this past December, the council adopted our original ATE-SD plan, which was subsequently submitted to and approved by both the State of Connecticut and Federal Highway Administration. Tonight, we will discuss our amended plan, which will now include red light cameras in addition to speed cameras, which were in our original plan. This program is a direct extension of the town's Vision Zero commitment, our shared goal to eliminate all traffic-related fatalities and serious injuries by focusing on safer streets, safer speeds, and safer behaviors. Speeding and red light running are one of the most consistent factors in serious crashes, and addressing it is a necessary component of protecting pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers alike, particularly in areas with a history of red light running and crashes. Importantly, this amended plan reflects extensive public input. Prior to bringing this resolution forward, the town hosted a public information session to explain the program and outline where and how the cameras would be used, and hear questions and concerns from residents. This amended program has also been before a Community Planning and Economic Development Committee, which has helped shape the framework before you this evening. That feedback has reinforced the importance of transparency and an emphasis on safety, not revenue. Mr. Town Clerk, if you could move forward to the next slide, thank you. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the dedicated team behind this effort. We have our audience, our Chief Riddick is in the audience, and at the table we have Assistant Chief Tara. We have our Director of Community Development, Dwayne Martin. We have our engineer, Parker Sorensen. We also have our consultant, Joe Balskis, who will be presenting shortly. And we have our town engineer watching from home, Greg Summer. And together, we've all been working along with others to develop a comprehensive and thoughtful plan to improve traffic safety in West Hartford. Mr. Town Clerk, if you can move forward to the next, one more slide. Thank you. Why red light cameras? Red light running poses a serious risk to pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers alike. And we are committed to the principle that traffic deaths and serious injuries are unacceptable and preventable. That's why we're proposing the implementation of a red light camera program as part of our Vision Zero strategy. Studies show that automated enforcement can reduce fatal and serious injury crashes by up to 40%. These devices are proven tools to encourage safer driver behavior. If you can move one more, thank you. The foundation of this initiative is House Bill 5917, signed into law in June of '23, which authorizes the use of speed and red light camera runnings in specific locations, traffic signals for red light running, school zones for speeding, pedestrian safety zones for speeding, as well as other locations for speeding. As we know, the devices that record violations of speeding or red lights. Images capture license plate, date, time, and location of violation. It does not capture video imagery of anyone driving the car or in the car. Next screen, please. As part of our both of our programs, we received a federal Safe Streets and Roads, Safe Streets for All grant, which will support an 18-month pilot program for our red light enforcement at 8 locations, which is the topic of tonight's public meeting. We also received, as we know, a separate federal Safe Streets for All and Roads for All grant to support an 18-month speed management pilot program for 15 locations. And as I mentioned before, and as you know, those plans, that plan has been approved by the Connecticut Department of Transportation and NEPA approved by Federal Highway Administration. We are presently out to bid to hire a vendor who will manage both programs for us and expect to have our speed cameras installed this fall and the red light cameras, should the council approve tonight. We would hope to have those installed earlier this winter. Next slide, please. Requirements for adoption for implementation include the ordinance. As you recall, the council formally adopted our ordinance back in April of 2025. And before you this evening is a plan that amends that original plan to add the red light running. So we have our public hearing tonight, followed by a council vote, and then we would package our plan up and send it off to the Connecticut Department of Transportation for their approval, and then off to, at the same time, to the Federal Highway Administration for their approval. Next slide, please. So the council approved an ordinance, as I mentioned, on April 8th, consistent with the requirements of state law. And that plan included the speed cameras, which violations covered under that ordinance were speeds exceeding the posted speed limit by 10 miles an hour or more, failure to stop at a steady red traffic signal. And as we discussed then, and we'll discuss again this evening, violations are municipal citations issued to the owner of the motor vehicle, not to the driver. So it's very similar to receiving a parking ticket. And per state law, citations are not a moving violation and is not reflected on the driver's record. Next slide, please. So under the review process, the West Hartford Police Department sworn officer or authorized town employee will review and approve recorded images before issuing citations. And the fines include $50 for the first violation and $75 for each subsequent violation within 1 year. Similar to the speed camera program, a 30-day warning period will be in place before fines are issued for each camera location. So as I mentioned, this fall, we'll be rolling out the speed enforcement camera program. That will include a 30-day period of issuing warnings. And then once we ultimately put our red light camera program in place, that will also include that same 30-day period. There are online payment options available with a processing fee not to exceed $15. And vehicle owners may appeal the fine within the 10-day fine appeal period. Next slide, please. As required by state law, funds collected from fines will be invested directly back into the West Hartford community by supporting transportation safety and mobility improvements, so essentially, and infrastructure enhancements, so essentially anything associated with Vision Zero. We will be utilizing these funds to help pay for all of the infrastructure changes as we move forward to get us to closer to zero serious injuries and zero deaths within a 10-year period, which is under our plan was 2033. Costs associated with the automated enforcement program. So any personnel costs within the police department, within our engineering department, can be offset by these fines as well. And under vendor payment, vendor fees for installation, operation, or maintenance of ATESD cannot be contingent on the number of citations issued or fines paid. So again, this isn't a financial incentive for someone to come in and issue ticket after ticket after ticket for them to be incentivized by, issuing more tickets than necessary. For us, this, again, as I stressed at the beginning, this is about safety for us. This isn't about revenue. So we need to make our streets safer, and we believe these two programs, in addition to all of the engineering and infrastructure changes that we are implementing, will get us to Vision Zero. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, no personal identifiable information shall be disclosed by the town except where disclosure is made in connection with the charging, collection, and enforcement of the fines. No personally identifiable information shall be stored or retained by the town or camera vendor unless the information is necessary for the charging, collection, and enforcement of the fines. This will not be shared with any outside companies. The town or vendor shall destroy any retained portion of personally identifiable information not later than 1 year after the date of such person's most recent violation. Next slide, please. State law and Safe Street for All grant agreements both require reporting to measure effectiveness of ATESDs, including the number of violations, the crash data at ATESD site and at similar location without a camera, number of hearings requested and the results of those hearings, the amount of revenue from the fines and fees, and the percentage of fines collected from residents and non-residents. And then we will report the cost to the town of West Hartford to use our camera program. And then a list of engineering and educational measures undertaken by municipality to improve safety, which we are well versed in already under our Vision Zero action plan with our annual reports that we provide every year. Next slide, please. Notification requirements. State law requires signs at every camera location. We are also required to notify all navigation applications such as Google Maps, Waze, Apple Maps, et cetera. And the town's required to implement awareness campaign 30 days prior to camera operation. So there'll be a lot of public outreach and education coming up prior to the implementation of the camera program. Next slide, please. So as folks may remember, this is an 18-month pilot program, and our ATSD vendor contract will include an option to extend the camera program by an additional 18-month total for a total of 36 months if approved. And then per state law, an ATESD plan is only valid for 3 years from the date the first camera becomes operational. Continuing the program beyond that 3 years will require a renewal of our ATESD plan with a new public hearing similar to what we're doing this evening with approval by town council. And it is our hope within that 3-year period we will see a demonstrably changed driver behavior in town with reduced speeds and much fewer red light running townwide. Next slide, please. And this is a kind of summary going back to April 8th of 2025. We had our public hearing to implement our ATESD ordinance. And then last summer, we held 2 public information meetings for our speed cameras on July 30th and September 3rd. We had 2 separate community planning and economic development committee meetings, one in September, one in October, followed by a public hearing on and formal adoption of our plan on December 17th of 2025. We held a red light running public information meeting on April 28th of this year at Elmore Community Center, followed by a presentation to our community planning and economic development meeting on May 20th. And then, of course, we have our public hearing tonight. And we've received outreach from our Vision Zero email address as well, and have been on virtually every news organization out there, as well as the Hartford Current and WEHA, and everywhere we can, we get a chance to speak about this plan. We do, and I think folks have appreciated that type of outreach. So next slide, please. And at this point, I will turn things over to Joe Balskis, who will talk a little bit about the process of identifying our locations that are will be included in our plan. So, Mr.
Thanks, Rick.
Balskis.
Can you hear me okay? Hi, Joe Balskis, professional engineer of VHB. We've been involved with the speed cameras, as Rick mentioned. So I'm going to run through just what's involved with the red light running cameras, how we studied them, how we studied locations, and came up with the final locations for consideration. Rick mentioned we had the April 20th meeting, and we had public comments on that, and we note them there. About 9 individual comments from the public information meeting. We actually thought we'd see more people attending, actually. But it was good. We also had emails that we responded to as well. Thanks. So we basically did a townwide analysis of the signals. These are red light running cameras, so they're traffic signals. So we looked at all the signals in the town and to see which ones are viable for red light running cameras. And we looked at the data involved with them. We collected the data from the town, from our previous studies, and information required as part of the Office of State Traffic Administration requirements for red light running cameras. And we developed a plan for that, and we finalized the locations. And then, as Rick said, there's an amendment to the previous ATSD plan for approval. Next. So how do we do this? We looked at both town signals and DOT signals. Obviously, Albany Avenue has DOT signals. OSTA has these guidelines, the Office of State Traffic Administration. They promulgated all these ATSD requirements. One of the basic tools that we use is the CT Red V tool. Basically, they have a tool on their website for red light running crashes. And that's the foundational aspect of this, is that you need to have at least 2 crashes caused by red light running to even be on this list to start with. So we started with that. We used that tool. We looked at those crashes. We looked at also bike, vulnerable road user crashes, bike, ped, injury crashes. Obviously, traffic volumes, that's part of it too, to kind of give us the way in between each one of them. We looked at Vision Zero focus areas, which we did similarly to the speed cameras and police citation, working with Assistant Chief Tara, AC Tara, and the Chief on what they have for citation data, and then finally pedestrian areas. So we kind of put it all together. We start with those 2 crashes that caused our red light running and put it into our screening methodology that we use, that tool we developed, and that gave us the locations. We worked with town staff, Dwayne, Parker, and AC Tara on this as well. Next. So this is the list of locations that we have that we've developed to date. In showing the primary intersections as the blue dots, those are our primary 8 that we're talking about. Those are the highest, based on our tool we use, those are the location with the highest crashes, the highest criteria. And then we have the alternates, which are in the yellow dots, as you see there. And there's a whole list there for both blue and yellow on the map as well. Next slide. And these intersections are nothing that you don't expect. Been coming to West Hartford. I grew up in East Hartford, coming to West Hartford for probably 50 years now. My uncle and aunt live in town, so I know it very well. So this is the top half of the town, showing the locations of primary and alternative locations, the major corridors, the ones that we know, the Albany Avenues, the Trout Brook Drives, all those we know are on the list. Next slide. So we are going to put together the plan amendment as was talked about, and this is an excerpt from the plan amendment showing how we're going to do that. This is the table of contents, so we're going to add to the speed cameras to add these locations to that. Next slide. We have a map here as well. Is it showing up? This is some of the data we collected. I mentioned before. This is the crash data. You see the number of crashes, red light running crashes. This one has Trout Brook at Albany Avenue. We just talked about that. It has 5 red light running crashes. So that's some of the data we use. Next slide. And this is the plan we're put together that kind of shows the data, shows the location. There's the intersection right there. In red, kind of like the area of the intersection between the stop bars. And the key issue is the stop bars. Where the stop bar is, and if a vehicle is beyond the stop bar on red light, then there's a ticket issued there, or reviewed, I should say. This shows the signs, and the key part of this is the signs, what you have for signs around the location. Now, this map here is showing cameras on each approach. May not be in each approach, but for purposes of the approval, that's what we're doing. So you have signs associated with the approach is showing you there's a photo enforcement ahead from the signal. Those 2 signs, that's required on each approach wherever you have a camera. Next slide. Oh, yeah, and that is the presentation. If you have any questions, thank you.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you to our town council for really moving our Vision Zero initiative, even going back to 2022 when this first became the idea of our team working together to get us to 0 deaths and 0 serious injuries in 10 years. And, you know, between the speed camera program and our red light camera program, we have the opportunity to utilize technology to assist us in that endeavor. And you know, I quote the chief often with this. This becomes a force multiplier for us. So we have an outstanding police department, outstanding traffic division. So with our 8 red light cameras and our 15 speed cameras, we are now able to deploy our traffic division into other areas of town, ultimately getting to us to that safer place sooner rather than later. So we look forward to your questions. We have a great team here ready to respond to your questions and any questions that may come up from the public. And we look forward to moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ledwith. Thank you, Mr. Baliskis, I think, Baliskis. Appreciate it very much. We obviously have been talking a lot about this for a long time. So great to be here tonight to actually vote on moving it forward. I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments. Well, first the questions. Go on. There's nobody here.
I do.
Okay, just 1 minute. We're doing the sign-up sheet. There's nobody signed up. Is there anybody in the audience that wants to speak to this? And Mr. Davidoff, were there any written comments?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go to Mr. Walters first for out of your committee, just because you did discuss this multiple times.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through you. It was discussed a couple times, and you know, the bottom line is we need to make our streets safer, and part of that is the responsibility of drivers, and we share responsibility in making them safer as well. And the red light cameras will be that extra man, so to speak, and help us make our streets safer. Lord knows that me honking at red light runners hasn't been working. So I'm quite optimistic that this will. And I do urge my fellow councilors to vote in the affirmative of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walters. Ms. Pullen?
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. I think the public will want to know things like, what does it mean to go through a red light? What counts? So I think I heard you say that if you are past the stop line when the light turns red, then you have gone through the red light. And a lot of people will, try to hit through the yellow and it turns red while they're going through. And so those folks should know, like, that's a red light. You're running a red light there. And can you just clarify that I'm correct about that piece?
Chief, you want to handle that piece?
Through you, Madam Mayor. So most people, when I shouldn't say my age here, but when I went to driving school, they taught you what the white line was at the intersection. Many people don't know what that is, even though there's a sign that says stop here. So if you go beyond the white line with a red light, that's a violation. You are allowed, if you're stopped in the intersection, you have a lot of traffic, if you're stopped there, you're allowed to clear the intersection, right? But we all see people who they know it's going to change red, and what do? They push into the intersection to stay there. Again, the rule is, if you pass the white stop line with a red light, that's a violation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pullen. Ms. McGinnis?
Through you, Madam Mayor. So actually, this is a question that just came to my head from Deb's question. But if a red light is down because it went down or whatever, what happens? Do the cameras automatically stop giving tickets? Because I know that should become a stop sign, but we know that people don't know that, and they think, oh, if I'm on the main way, that means I get to keep going. But I just wondered what would happen if the red light. Also, I drove through one in Hartford today that was down and had to deal with that.
That's why we have the cameras, but we also have the human element reviewing it, right? So some situations that most people don't know about is, number one, what if there's a construction job going on, the light's cycling, but you have an officer pulling you through the intersection? You're not gonna get a ticket for that because the officer's telling you to do that. So what if there's an accident or a detour or something like that? There's so many things that come into play. If the light is down, I hate to say it again, we all know that it means a four-way stop, but not everybody stops, right? Again, it depends on the situation, but that's why we review it. And then other things that we look at is, if we can't make out the license plate on there, you're not gonna get a ticket, because that's unfair. So certain things have to be in order for you to be issued a ticket. That makes sense.
So would that mean that it would, let's say there was construction and there was an officer flagging people through and the light was red. If someone was given a ticket, would that be caught on the end of reviewing it before it went out?
What happens is we'll get a photo of the intersection and we can see what's
Okay.
going on, so. And again, what if an emergency vehicle is coming through and it's a red light? What are you supposed to do? Most people don't. You pull over to the right. That may make you violate the intersection.
Right.
You're not gonna get a ticket for that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McGinnis, and that was actually my question about an emergency vehicle. But I think, so is the review before the ticket goes out so that a violation occurs, technically, and then it's reviewed, and within how long does the review take place? You're getting it live, but.
To you, Madam Mayor. So I just pulling from the ordinance. So it states a citation shall be invalid unless mailed to an owner not later than 60 days after the alleged violation. So 60 days.
Thank you, but for internal expectation, maybe would it be sort of every day they're reviewed for that day, or would it be by week, or how do we envision?
So to you, Madam Mayor, so I guess just the expectation with the vendor. So there's going to be two reviews essentially for this process. The first level review will be with the vendor, and then the second level is with town staff before those are submitted. So that will be an ongoing process throughout normal business.
And the windows of those times have not been specified yet? What, like a week for the vendor from when a violation, and then another week or 2 weeks, or how does that? I know we have 60 days overall, but
Yeah,
we don't know.
I suppose we'd have to wait to.
Dwayne Martin, Director of Community Development. We don't know that yet. When we select a vendor, we'll have discussions with them to determine that. I don't want to put anything on the record and then we don't meet those goals or what is stated. And it depends on the volume of citations that are being reviewed and availability of staff. There's a lot of factors involved. So
Sure, and I would think the beginning is going to be a little bit challenging. But one of the things that I out of the questions that I heard is that to have adequate time, right, to make sure that it's reviewed, and it does sound like that will happen. Any other questions? Dr. Harris.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. I had a question regarding the vendor program. Do we have any sense of what that might be costing the town? I know we have a grant like for the first 18 months, but after that, what would the cost of the vendor be?
So through you, Madam Mayor, to Councilor Harris's question, Mr. Martin, that's something we'll determine through the RFP process and the selection of the vendor and.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
There's still some things to understand when we go through this process. My understanding is we obviously have a grant that we're working on, and that includes getting this program off the ground and into where the cameras are actually out and working. Beyond that, we expect the revenue that will be generated by the citations will make the program self-funded.
Okay. And if I can just follow up with that, you said through you, town manager that there would be no incentive to the vendor to issue tickets. I didn't quite understand how that would even work with incentive, assuming this is all going to be sort of automated based on, I wasn't sure how they would have any.
So the reason through you, Madam Mayor, to Councilor Harris, so the reason for the comment was there can be the perception out there that these companies are just out there, being incentivized by, issuing 5,000 tickets in a month, they get, some kind of extra fee for something like that. This is straight, issue a ticket, someone's speeding or someone's running through a red light, and then we're issuing the $50 violation.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. Mr. Lyons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, through you, and I'll try to remember we're in a hearing and not council now, so thank you. Couple questions. I noticed there were a couple of 84 locations, not what I would call the big one, 84 in Park Road near the center. Does the data, I guess, because it's usually stopped up, but I see a lot of people run red lights at that intersection. Is the crash data that's kind of driving the decisions here, so that just didn't meet the threshold?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Councilor Lyons' question, yes, and that did actually come up during one of our CPED meetings. So that's exactly why that location was not selected. It didn't make that initial 2 crash criteria.
And in spite of this morning's accident, Mount Road, Albany, same category, or is that because it's, I don't know, Mount Road and Albany?
I believe that crash was further up Albany Avenue.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It wasn't at the red light.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. And then finally, and this is a question I did ask in CPED, but kind of a variation of the question is, I know the system's smart enough to recognize a right on red and not ticket somebody, but if somebody does kind of a rolling right on red, does it delineate, can it differentiate?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to my team, does it differentiate the rolling red, Chief?
Through you, Madam Mayor. I will be honest, if you do that now with an officer behind you, you're going to get stopped. Okay, because it's not, you have to stop, like a stop sign, and then make your turn. Unless there's a sign that says no turn on red.
I'll take that as a yes, sir. So,
I'll give you that
thank
as
you.
a
Thank you,
yes.
Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lyons. Any other questions on this, Dr. Harris?
If I could ask one more through you, Madam Mayor. This may be a variation of what one of my colleagues asked, but if somebody goes into an intersection, assuming that they're trying to make a left turn and they've got a stream of traffic coming the other way, and they're kind of waiting there until the traffic, stops so that they can make that left, and then the light changes before they can make the left, according to what I think you said, that would be considered a violation, not a violation. Okay. Maybe you could just clarify that for me.
Sure. Through your, Madam Mayor. So, remember, it's the stop line that we're looking at. If they get into the intersection and they're waiting to make a left turn, they're already in the intersection. They're allowed to clear that, just like they would now. But if it's a red light and they're trying to beat the light, they pass the stop line and then make their left turn, that's a violation.
So if they moved into there while there was not a red light, but they didn't make it because there was traffic coming the other way, and by the time they tried to make the left turn, they're still in that intersection, but they couldn't make it because there was too much traffic coming the other way. So
They're allowed to clear the intersection because they're already in the intersection. If I see that now as a police officer, they're allowed to clear it.
okay, so you can see that probably on the data.
When they set the cameras up.
Yeah.
Again, the triggering event is passing the white line, the stop line, while it's a red light.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. Okay, any other questions? Okay. I hope our fellow counselor comes back. Okay, good. All right. If there are no other questions, going once, going twice, I am closing this public hearing, and I'm thanking you all. I hope you're going to be here for the council meeting. I don't know, are you? No? No? Okay, then I actually, before, I'm not completely closed then. I just wanted to thank you all very much for the tremendous amount of work to get to this point. And, you know, Greg, I know you're remote, but I appreciate you. Parker, you've done incredible work on Vision Zero. And Dwayne, you've led this process all the way through. And Chief Tara, thank you for your thoughtful consideration and leadership on this. I think we're going to see a big change. And thank you to Town Manager for, I know you're going to be here for the council meeting, though. But thank you all very, very much. And thank you to our consultant, too. Thank you so much, Mr. Beliskis. Okay. What? We're just going to wait for a roll call for the next so we have a quorum. Okay, we are. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chief. Okay, calling the 7:15 public hearing to order. This is an ordinance, a resolution dissolving the West Hartford Special Services District. Roll call, Mr. Davidoff.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Counselor Harris.
Here.
Counselor Lazarus.
Here.
Counselor Lyon.
Here.
Counselor McGinnis.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Poland.
Here.
Counselor Walters.
Here.
Counselor Wang is absent. Counselor Winograd is absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Davidoff. We will begin with presentation by the Town Manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening again, everyone. For the record, Rick Ledwith, Town Manager, and tonight we're presenting an ordinance and resolution to formally dissolve the West Hartford Special Services District. The district was created over 20 years ago. Its purpose was to support and oversee a unique public-private partnership that ultimately led to the development of Blueback Square and the continued revitalization of West Hartford Center. At the time, this structure provided a mechanism for financing and managing public investments that helped make this transformative project possible. One of the district's primary responsibilities was recommending the tax levy necessary to service the debt associated with bonds issued to support the Blueback Square development. And I'm pleased to report that those bonds have been fully retired and the district has successfully fulfilled the purpose for which it was originally established. Over the past 2 decades, Blueback Square has become one of Connecticut's most successful public-private partnerships. Together with West Hartford Center, it has transformed our community into a premier destination for dining, shopping, entertainment, and culture. The development has strengthened our tax base, attracted significant private investment, created jobs, and enhanced the quality of life enjoyed by residents and visitors alike. As the district's responsibilities have diminished, the town has assumed direct management and maintenance of our Isham Memorial parking garages, which were among the district's primary assets. With the bonds paid off and the operational functions now being performed by the town, maintaining a separate taxing entity is no longer necessary. The ordinance repeals the section of the town code establishing the Special Services District, and the accompanying resolution recognizes the success of Blueback Square Partnership while expressing our gratitude to the many commissioners who have served the district over the years. Their stewardship, commitment, and volunteer service played an important role in ensuring the success of this effort and the long-term vitality of our center. While tonight marks the end of the Special Services District, it also serves as an opportunity to reflect on what has been accomplished. What began as a bold vision has become one of the defining success stories of our West Hartford's economic development efforts. And the benefits of that vision continue to be felt throughout our community today. So through you, Madam Mayor, I know we discussed this at a Finance and Administration Committee meeting. We also discussed it during our budget process as well during the spring. But through you, Madam Mayor, happy to answer any questions that the council has regarding the dissolving of the district.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. I'm going to actually go to public comment first. I really don't think there's any, and I'm a little surprised that there is not one or two members of the Heritage here, but that's okay. And Mr. Clerk, while Mr. Dodge is checking, have you received any written comment?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay, terrific. All right, I'm going to go to Ms. Pullen first because we did discuss this in finance and administration, and just to add anything that you would like to.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's really not much to add. This is self-explanatory. Appreciate the work of those who have served as members of the Special Service District, and we are ready to move forward.
Thank you, Ms. Pullen. Any questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, we're making up some time. We can close the public hearing. And if you guys are all set, we can go right into the council meeting? Yes? All right, I just got to shuffle a couple papers. You're all done. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So, public hearing is closed, and you are, thank you again. We have to wait for a quorum. And I am calling the June 23rd public hearing to order, 7:30. It is actually, I'm town council meeting, sorry. It is actually 7:47, I think. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Davidoff.
Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Counselor Harris.
Here.
Counselor Lazarus.
Here.
Counselor Lyons.
Here.
Counselor McGinnis.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Pullen.
Here.
Counselor Walters.
Here.
Counselor Wang is absent. Counselor Winograd is absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davidoff. And I think public forum, I don't think there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak to anything on the agenda not subject to the public hearing. And there isn't much on there. Nobody has signed up. Is there anyone in the audience? I don't see anybody that would. Okay, very good. We will go to number 4, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Without objection, I move that items 5A, 5B, and 7D are placed on the consent calendar.
Is there any objection? Okay, hearing no objection, the items are placed on consent. Ms. Pullen?
I move adoption of the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion's been made. Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And we will go to 6, unfinished business, 6A. Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt an ordinance concerning dog leashes.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith, do you want to just give a really brief, this was subject to a public hearing a few minutes ago.
Absolutely, Madam Mayor, thank you. The ordinance was the subject of a public hearing earlier this evening and has been discussed during our Public Safety Committee a couple of times over the last year as well. And the amended ordinance will expand leash requirements town-wide, as we discussed in the public hearing. Right now, our town code requires a dog to be on a leash in our parks, but not on our sidewalks and other public spaces. So this ordinance will provide clarity, I think, to all of our dog owners in town, that the expectation would be when in a public place, whether it's a park or a sidewalk, that the dog will be on a leash that's at least 6 feet long, unless they're at our dog park at 100 Mayflower.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. I'm going to begin with Mr. Walters because this was in your, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Dodge.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a quick procedural note. You'll note that the ordinance is marked substitute. The reason for that is that when the ordinance was first introduced, we had not figured out yet exactly where in our town code this should go. So we have now figured out the appropriate chapter and article numbers for it. Those are included in the ordinance. The substance of the ordinance has not changed in any way. No additional motion is required because the substitute is before you this evening, Madam Mayor. But I just want to explain why it was marked substitute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dodge. All right, okay, Mr. Walters.
Thank you, and through you, Madam Mayor, and thank you for the clarification, Council. This has gone through, actually, I think it started even before I joined, and it is probably about time for some folks who feel, as we heard in the hearing, that everything caught up and that we're covering the whole town rather than just pieces of the town. So I think it is a very good thing for our community, and I think that I know I will be voting yes, and I encourage all to vote yes, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walters. Are there any other comments or on this? Okay, I want to thank our AC Galino for her work on and highlighting to us how important this actually is and how helpful this will be to the police department. That's animal control officer, sorry. I was surprised when we started to learn that, and Mr. Ledwith shared this in the public hearing, that we had about 100 cases of dogs off leash, and 64 led to bites of a person or another dog. So the need is there, and I just want to thank Elizabeth Kiefer for emailing us and actually starting this process a little more robustly, and I want to thank Elizabeth for her patience too, because it did take a little while. Ordinances do take time, and we want to make sure we get them right. So I appreciate it very much, and we as our council just said, we didn't have a clear something to go off of. So I'm sure that this, and I want to thank our town manager. This is we believe, the right balance that will allow our town to enjoy their pets safely and enjoy the safety of all people being able to walk on our sidewalks and enjoy our town. All right, and with that, we need a roll call. Oh, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. I'm wondering, since it is Dog License Month, if we could perhaps send out notification to everybody who has licensed their dog once we adopt this, or once the month is over, and just let them know of this new ordinance.
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Deputy Mayor Poland. So yes, that's our plan. AC Galino had actually suggested that to us early on. So we will take advantage of our database and send this information out to all of our dog owners in town. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pullen. Yes, we did talk about that when she had presented, and it's a great idea and good to share. Okay, we go to roll call. Mr. Davidoff.
Mayor Cantor.
Yes.
Counselor Harris.
Yes.
Counselor Lazarus.
Yes.
Counselor Lyon.
Yes.
Counselor McGinnis.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Poland.
Yes.
Counselor Walters.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you very much. We have 6, don't we?
No, 7.
Oh, we do have 7. Sorry, I didn't count myself. Oh. This is smart. Okay, we did have a quorum. All right, then we will go to B. Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt an ordinance and resolution dissolving the West Hartford Special Services District.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Levitt, just a brief description.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And this is subject of a public hearing earlier this evening as well, and we'll call for the dissolving of our Special Services District, which was created back in 2005, and one began a really successful public-private partnership that began back with our town council back in 2002, 3, and 4, and Mayor, you were part of that council, as well as our town manager Barry Feldman at the time, and Finance Director Jim Francis, and Ron Van Winkle and Rob Rolson were very instrumental as well in working together with our council and Blueback to create the Special Services District that essentially fully financed the construction of both the Isham AM Memorial parking garages, as well as the renovations at the Noah Webster Library and the renovations here at Town Hall, without requiring taxpayer money to do so. So this act will formally dissolve that district since the bonds have been formally paid off. They were fully funded back in October of 2025.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ledwith. I think, Ms. Poland, would you like to just start off if there are any comments coming out of your committee?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Now, this one was sailed through the Finance and Administration Committee. As Mr. Town Manager explained, we have had this long-running public-private partnership, and it has served our town and taxpayers very well and helped to make our center even more exciting and dynamic, a great place to work and visit and eat and just have a lot of fun. So I think we're going to continue to move in a positive direction, but we no longer need to have this this on the books any longer.
Thank you, Ms. Boland. Any other comments? Okay, so this is, to me, a walk-through time and a snapshot of sort of my whole time as being on the council. It's pretty wild looking back, and I want to take the opportunity to just thank former Mayor Harris, Jonathan Harris, and former Mayor Scott Slifka for what was a really, really hard process to develop something that, and all the town leaders that the town manager had mentioned. This was a vision of actually Town Manager Feldman for a very long time, and it took a long time to acquire the properties and to get the right developer and to have this vision, and it was unique. And I don't know, the Blueback Square agreement is like, I don't know, probably taller than me. But it was very challenging and so and unique. And at the time, I think it was the largest development in New England or something. It was very close to that. Something really that put West Hartford on the map. And I really am grateful to the tremendous amount of work and all the people that served on the Special Development District through the years. We had council representation, but we had business owner, Blueback Square owner, but not just the business, but also homeowners and the heritage there as well. And the garages are a tremendous asset to this community. And I just want to thank all of those for the bold vision and working forward. And there were tremendous hurdles, and they really stuck with it and made this an incredible success. And the activities at Blueback Square, I saw all weekend long. There's family activities and music and businesses that are opening, and obviously we've had strengthening our tax base. Is this our second largest taxpayer, I think now, or? I don't know, it's in our top 5 for sure.
It's in the top 5,
Yeah.
yes.
And adding to the residents' quality of life throughout our community. So again, I'm very grateful for all the input, and this is the end of an era, and we will now vote to dissolve, that it served its purpose. So we're going to go to roll call. Mr. Davidoff.
Mayor Cantor.
Yes.
Counselor Harris.
Yes.
Counselor Lazarus. Counselor Lyons.
Yes.
Counselor McGinnis.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Poland.
Yes.
Counselor Walters.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Thank you. And I was actually remiss in not thanking Mr. Davidoff, who also was on that council and had a lot of input into Blueback Square through the years as well. Thank you. All right. And we will go to 7A. Ms.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution directing the town manager to submit an amended automated traffic enforcement safety device plan to the Connecticut Department of Transportation for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith, a brief description of our public hearing.
Thank you. Yep. So the subject of a public hearing earlier this evening, and as the title states, you would be directing the town manager to submit our amended automatic traffic enforcement safety device plan to the state and federal highway administration for approval. You'll recall that back in December, this council approved our ATESD plan, which at that time included just our speed camera program. That was approved by the state and federal highway administration, and now we're asking you to amend that plan to include 8 red light cameras throughout town. So once, if you were to adopt that this evening, we would submit our amended plan to the Department of Transportation as well as Federal Highway Administration for their approval. and we are presently out to bid for our vendor, camera vendor, as we discussed. So once we receive, we roll out that speed enforcement camera program and receive approval on the red light camera program, we would have that plan set up by sometime this winter, moving us closer to a much safer community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. So I'm going to go back to you, Mr. Walters, if you wanted to share.
Thank you, and through you, Madam Mayor. As I mentioned earlier, and perhaps I jumped the gun, but this having the cameras for red lights in addition to our speed cameras really will go a long ways in helping making our communities safer and towards realizing the goals of Vision Zero. As I mentioned earlier, honking my horn at people hasn't worked, and so I'm hopeful that this will. On a side note, I do have a friend who recently received a ticket in another town from one of these cameras, and he was sort of incredulous, and I said, well, watch out, we've got them coming here as well. So I will indeed be voting in favor of this. I thank the whole crew that put this together, from town manager to AC Terra to our community development team, for all the work that they've put into it. And thank you.
Thank you. And I was remiss, this was actually started in CPED, although we did talk about it in public safety, but it started in CPED, and much of the meetings came out of that community development team with support from our police department. So I'm going to kick it over to Ms. McGinnis.
Through you, Madam Mayor, I don't really have, excuse me, anything further to add except for what our town manager stated before about the force multiplier. That'll be a great help, and as he said, make our town much safer. I am going to out my son right now because he managed to get a warning ticket in Fairfield for the speed cameras and was not very pleased. So I have seen what it looks like when it comes to your house, the photos and things like that. But hopefully next time he drives through there, he won't, and hopefully won't speed. And when we have them here, he will be aware and not speed either. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McGinnis. Are there any other comments? Or Ms. Lazarus?
Thank you. Yeah, mine just turned on. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to say thank you to Town Manager Ledwith and the team who worked really hard on Vision Zero, everyone who came before me, the previous councils who put together the vision plan and this resolution. You mentioned during the public hearing that this was done in a way that was promoting transparency and safety, and you emphasized multiple times that this is not about revenue generation. And I just wanted that to be on the record and communicated to the people again through this meeting that it was also done in an equitable way, which is the lens through which this council and I know our town staff executes its vision and goals. So with the progressive fines, the 8 public meetings and notifications, and a lot of transparency and opportunity to gain input from the public, that was very important. I appreciate the work that you've done to get the public's input, and that this was all data driven. I think that is very important that people know that this is not meant to be punitive or to generate revenue from the town. It's about changing behavior to promote the quality of life that we love and enjoy, which is all because of our safety. We feel safe here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lazarus. Very well said, and I completely agree. That was a really important way for us to frame this. And that I do want to thank the legislature, too, for outlining a very a wonderful plan that was so thoughtful and out of an equitable lens. So thank you. All right, any other comments, questions? I do want to just, again, thank the team, our consultant. This was starting with the town manager, our consultant, Greg Summer, Parker Sorensen, Dwayne Martin, Assistant Chief Tara, and Chief Riddick. Thank you for your tremendous support throughout this. And I do think that commitment, I know I couldn't see, the commitment to Vision Zero is real, and it takes all of us visiting or residents that live here to reduce crashes and deaths and keep our communities safe. So with that, we will do a roll call. Mr. Davidoff.
Madam Mayor, voice vote.
We can do a voice vote. Oh, we can? Yeah, okay. Voice vote, but it was subject to. Does it matter?
Okay, on the advice of Corporation Counsel, we'll do a roll call. Mayor Cantor.
Here. I mean, yes. Here. Yes, and yes. Yeah.
Yes for Mayor Cantor. Councilor Harris.
Yes.
Councilor Lazarus.
Yes.
Councilor Lyon.
Yes.
Councilor McGinnis.
Here and yes also.
Deputy Mayor Pullen.
Yes.
Councilor Walters. Passes unanimously 7-0.
Thank you, because I wasn't counting myself, I did have to say here. No, all right, we will go to 7B, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you. And in our defense, we're all a little blinded from the light, and it's made us a little fried. Okay. Through you, Madam Mayor. Move to adopt a resolution appropriating an historic document preservation grant.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith, now you have the sun.
This resolution, Madam Mayor, will appropriate a $7,000 historic preservation grant awarded to the town clerk's office through the Connecticut State Library's Historic Documents Preservation Program. We received this grant, fortunate to have received this grant for multiple years straight now. And the grant will be used to purchase the supplies that support the preservation and management of public records in accordance with the grant requirements. Approval of this resolution will increase the FY26 general fund budget by the amount of the grant, and there is no local funding match required for this grant, and all grant funds will be expended by the end of the month. Through you, Madam Mayor, happy to answer any questions that the council
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Any comments or questions? Okay, very straightforward. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Letter C, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution revising the schedule of fees for Veterans Memorial Skating Rink.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Our chair is not here right now, but does anybody want to speak to? All right. This
I can
was-
give a quick
You can,
overview.
yes, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I skipped that process, but.
So, Madam Mayor, this resolution will update the fee schedule for the Veterans Memorial Skating Rink, which serves more than 15,000 visitors annually and does remain the only municipally owned and operated ice rink within 25 miles of West Hartford. The rink does operate as an enterprise fund and relies on user fees to support its operations, while also continuing to provide significant benefits to our residents. The West Hartford Youth Hockey League receives a 20% discount on ice rentals, and our 3 high school hockey teams also skate free of charge, representing about $110,000 subsidy for that program as well. So rates have not been adjusted at Veterans since September of '24, while operating costs for labor, utilities, and supplies have continued to increase over that time. So the proposed fee change would increase resident admission fees by $1 and non-residents by $2, helping to offset rising costs while maintaining affordable access for residents, and also remaining competitive with other regional facilities. Based on last year's usage levels, the proposed adjustments are expected to generate approximately $82,000 in additional revenue to support the operations and ongoing facility improvements. So this, as you stated, Madam Mayor, did go through our Human and Community Services Committee. And I will pause there, and through you, happy to answer any questions that the council had.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. I don't know, Ms. Lazarus, if you want to just mention, I know it was in your committee.
Thank you. Thank you through you, Madam Mayor. just want to say thank you for ensuring that the Veterans Memorial Skating Rink remains accessible and affordable for residents and even non-residents. And remembering clearly from that meeting how well our leisure services and the a director of the Memorial Skating Rink does a great job in offering diverse programs and packages for people to take advantage of all of the leisure services that we have in town, and I hope they do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lazarus. Are there any other comments or questions before I vote? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And now we're to the town manager's report. Mr. Ledwood.
Thank you. I will, our next town council meeting is Tuesday, July 14th, and it's summer hours for our council meeting, so it will begin at 6:30 that evening versus the normal 7:30. And I'll be working with all the standing committee chairs to set up our summer calendar. I know we have vacations planned with staff, and we usually try to take one of the months off during the summer, so I'll work with each committee chair to establish our schedule for the summer. I know we'll do finance and administration on July 20th, but I'll work with everyone else to set the remaining schedule for the summer over the next couple of days. So July 3rd and July 4th, holiday hours of operation, so municipal facilities, including town hall, DPW offices, community centers, senior centers, and summer camp programs are closed on Friday, July 3rd, in observance of the Independence Day holiday. The skating rink does remain closed for renovations until September 8th. The collection of all trash, recyclables, bulky items, metal, and yard waste is not affected by the 4th of July holiday, so all routes will be done on their regularly scheduled day. The public libraries, Cornerstone Aquatic Center, and Yard Waste and Recycling Center will be closed on Saturday, July 4th. And outdoor pools will be open at all locations on July 3rd and 4th. For the week of June 22nd through June 26th, crews are progressing in phases 3, 4, and 5 for the West Hartford Center infrastructure project. Access to businesses remain open at all times. In phase 3, on the north side of Farmington Avenue, temporary signage, fencing, cones, and equipment have been removed from Coldwell Banker to Treva, and the area is now open for public use. In phase 4, from El Santo to Kimberly Boutique and in front of the future Mercado Italian Kitchen and Bar, former CVS, crews have removed the sidewalk pavers, roadway, and curb. The installation of soil cells, handholds, and conduits will follow. The phase is expected to be completed by August 20th. Work has also shifted to the south side of Farmington Avenue in Phase 5 from Jenny Andre Hale and Skin Salon to Music and Arts. Crews have removed sidewalk pavers and will install drainage structures and piping, granite curbing, and pour concrete sidewalks in front of businesses. Work in this phase is expected to be completed by July 13th. And I know we've talked a lot about dogs this evening. But just a reminder to get your dog licenses in by June 30th. Under state law, all dogs over 6 months must be registered annually to receive a current dog tag. And the numbered tag identifies any pet that may wander away from home. So the annual cost for dog licenses is $19 for unaltered dogs and $8 for neutered or spayed dogs. All dog owners in West Hartford received a statement in the mail on June 1st. And just as a quick reminder, the Leisure Services Department is conducting community outreach through a survey as part of a comprehensive plan for Kennedy Park. Everyone is invited to complete a survey about how they currently utilize the park and what they'd like to see. Survey results will help identify gaps in services and understand the demographics of park users. The survey is open until Monday, July 6th, and can be accessed online on our website. And that concludes the town manager's report this evening. Madam Mayor, happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Are there questions for the town manager? Okay, and now to Corporation Counsel, Mr. Dodge.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As indicated on the agenda, we do require an executive session this evening to discuss strategy with regard to pending litigation, and I am hopeful that we will be acting on a resolution coming out of that executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Dodge. Are there other questions for Attorney Dodge? Okay. All right. And with that, I'll go to announcements. It is busy, but West Hartford Center was voted one of America's most envied shopping centers in 2026 by Market Beat, which is a nationwide survey which asked over 3,000 Americans to identify the shopping district in each state that they consider the most enviable, the place they would like to have regular access for shopping needs, and whether for independent boutiques, specialty stores, overall atmosphere. According to the survey, consumers are drawn to shopping destinations that emphasize character, walkability, independent retailers, and a strong sense of place rather than size or luxury alone. West Hartford Center joins a select group of shopping districts nationwide recognized for offering a distinctive mix of local businesses, dining options, and community atmosphere. Katia Arroyo Hunter was crowned Miss Puerto Rico Preteen of Greater Hartford. She will serve as youth ambassador for Puerto Rican culture and heritage throughout the year in Connecticut and beyond, including National Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York City, one of the world's largest Puerto Rican cultural celebrations. So she is a West Hartford resident, and we're very proud of her. Her mother is over the moon. And I from this, I also heard Jerida Reinheimer, also, her daughter was also honored and also, and anyway, I don't know all the details, but summer reading kicks off today. This is from June 23rd to August 25th. Children, teens, and adults can participate in reading, attending this Out of the World program for a chance to win awesome prizes, and there is a link on our website. Old Center Cemetery brochure and virtual tour. Our town historian, Mary Donahue, has published the second of 3 brochures focused on notables and memorials in our cemeteries, titled Old Center Burying Yard. A self-guided tour is an illustrated guide to our earliest cemetery, which is 307 years old. The cemetery is listed on the National and State Historic Registers, as well as the Connecticut Freedom Trail. This cemetery brochure series is a part of West Hartford's America 250 celebration and is found on the town's website. In collaboration with Mary Donahue, Andrew Reyna, a 9th grade student at Hall High School and scout in BSA Troop 163, created a virtual cemetery tour that takes visitors to each notable gravesite. As part of Andrew's Eagle Scout project, he installed signage and numbered markers at each tour stop to make learning about our town's history more accessible. Visitors can scan the QR code on the cemetery entrance, and information about each person appears on a mobile device, and it's really, really cool. Blueback Square Block Party will take place June 25th from 6 to 8 p.m. Enjoy samples from your favorite restaurants, fun kids activities, arts and crafts, and live performance by Avenue Groove. The event is free and open to all. Pride Rally will take place on June 27th. It will start actually at the steps of the auditorium at 10:30 a.m., and the festival is from 12 to 6 p.m. The festival will feature incredible talent, including hosts and headliners Natalia Fierce and DJ Edgewood, Alyssa Edwards, a spotlight performer and star on RuPaul's Drag Race, music sensations Miss Kelly and Bentley Robles, and a crowd favorite Sister Funk, and New England Pride, 365, amazing, and more than a dozen drag performers. The event is free and open to everyone. And maybe Mr. Walters will talk more about that. West Hartford's musical tribute to America's 250 will take place on July 1st. This is a collaboration with the West Hartford Symphony Orchestra and the West Hartford Women's Chorale. It will take place at Duffy School. This inspiring program will honor the American spirit and feature the premiere of Pain to Our Heroes, an original work for chorale and orchestra composed by Maestro Richard Chiarapa for this occasion, and admission is free. Jubilation Thursday concert was postponed and will take place on July 2nd at 7 to 9 at Blueback Square. The concert features A Marquis Studio 860 and School of Rock and Sugar and Spice. The Wild Party, July 8th through 16th, is based on a poem by Joseph Mancour March and has a sensational jazz score by Andrew Lipa. This play is set in the Prohibition era and offers a captivating look at the dangers, excess, love, and betrayal. And this is a Playhouse on Park show that runs from July 10th to August 16th, and the previews are on July 8th and 9th. And there is a link to their box office as well, or you can contact them directly. Book it July 11th. For children's 2 through 12 are invited to lace up their sneakers and participate in the West Hartford Library's Book It Fun Run at Sterling Field. The races include a toddler dash of 100 meters at 10 a.m. That would be funny. A quarter-mile race at 10:15 and a 1-mile race at 10:30 a.m. And you can visit the library's website. Hartford Hospital's mobile mammography will take place at the West Hartford Bloomfield District at the Bloomfield Community Center from 8 a.m. to 1:15 p.m. This event is offered to women with ages between 35 and 40 who have not yet had a mammogram and women 40 and older who have not had one in over a year. Services are available to insured individuals, uninsured individuals, and those with high deductibles. Call the Health District to schedule an appointment today. And the number is on our website. Greater Hartford Shakespeare Festival will take place July 8th through August 1st. Midsummer's Night Dream, at University of St. Joseph campus. To accommodate growing demand, Capitol Classics will stage 10 rotating performances of each play, running Wednesday through Sunday evenings for 4 weeks, and there is a link for tickets. It's a great program. Bookworm Fest will take place on July 26, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Noel Webster Library. It also features discussion, panels, food, face painting vendors, a sword-wielding class instructed by a real knight, and all ages are welcome to join in the fun, and dressing up is encouraged. Sounds like great fun. And of course, we have the summer message about our food pantry and any food that you can contribute either at Town Hall directly to the food pantry, also cash donations, as well as the Methodist Church, otherwise known as Pumpkin Church. And I know there are other communities also doing food drives around, so keep your eyes open. There's a real need throughout the whole summer, and especially items with protein, peanut butter, tuna fish, etc. Are there any other announcements? Ms. Lazarus.
Thank you. I wanted to share that this month is Caribbean American Heritage Month, and happening this Saturday from 11 to 12:30 p.m. Perhaps you can stop by before you head to Pride to celebrate the life and musical legacy of Jimmy Cliff at Noel Webster. So to register for that, you'd have to go onto the West Hartford Library's website and register in advance. Celebrate Caribbean American Heritage Month.
Thank you, Ms. Lazarus. All right. Are there any other announcements? Okay. And with that, we go to our Ms. Pullen, 12A. I guess I'll read. Executive session pursuant to Section 1 to 200, 6B of the Connecticut General Statute to discuss strategy and negotiations with respect to pending litigation, to wit, Jane Doe, PPA, Jane Doe number 2 versus Town of West Hartford et al., docket number HHD CV 24-508-3682. Ms. Bullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Without objection, I move that we enter into executive session to discuss strategy and negotiations with respect to pending claim, to wit, Jane Doe, PPA, Jane Doe number 2 versus Town of West Hartford et al., docket number HHD CV 24-508-3682.
Is there any objection? Okay, hearing none, the motion carries. The council will now enter into executive session. I invite Town Manager Rick Ledwith, Corporation Counsel Dallas Dodge, Deputy Corporation Counsel Gina Verano, and Attorney Thomas Gerard of the law firm Howd and Ludorf, counsel for the town in this matter, to join us for the executive session. The council, okay. That's, I think, all I see. All right. The time is, what did you say, 8:57? And the town council has concluded executive session and returned to open session. No votes were taken during executive session. Councilor Pullen, do you have a motion?
Yes, Madam Mayor, without objection, I move that the agenda be opened to add the following item. Resolution authorizing the Corporation Council to settle pending litigation, Jane Doe, PPA versus Town of West Hartford et al.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion carries and the item is added to the agenda. Councilor Pullen?
Madam Mayor, I move adoption of the resolution authorizing the Corporation Council to settle pending litigation, Jane Doe, PPA versus Town of West Hartford et al.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Attorney Dodge, would you like to summarize the resolution?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. And first, just a procedural matter. I do want to note for the record, we were joined in executive session in addition to Tom Gerard with the law firm of Howden Ludorf. His partner, Ashley Hoyt, who also defended us in this matter, was also present for the executive session. Madam Mayor, this matter arises from allegations made by a minor student enrolled in the school district's ESOL summer program during the summer of 2022. The plaintiff alleges that they were sexually assaulted by another minor who was serving as a student volunteer in the program. The volunteer was subsequently arrested in connection with the alleged conduct, and beyond that, the town is unable to publicly comment regarding the individual due to applicable federal and state privacy laws. Madam Mayor, the plaintiff has extended an offer of compromise in the amount of $1.5 million. For the reasons that we just discussed in executive session, my office recommends that the town council accept the offer and authorize the settlement of the litigation. Madam Mayor, I would also note that the town's direct financial responsibility is limited to the remaining balance of approximately $195,000 under the town's self-insured retention. The remainder of the settlement amount will be funded by the town's excess insurance carriers. As is customary, while we believe that the settlement is in the town's best interest and avoids the uncertainty, expense, and risk associated with continued litigation, the settlement does not constitute in any way admission of fault, wrongdoing, or liability on the part of the town, the Board of Education, or any of their employees. For the foregoing reasons, Madam Mayor, I recommend adoption of the resolution.
Thank you, Attorney Dodge. The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously and the motion is adopted. And without objection, I make a motion to adjourn. Is there any objection? We are now adjourned. Happy summer.
This is initial, but I don't know where I'm supposed to.